Breaking news today, first troops arrive in LA after Trump sends National Guard to curb immigration protests. Ladies and gents, how are you doing? I'm back in the chair and it's all kicking off in the City of Angels. Why is it kicking off? Well, it's kicking off because a group of delusional commies think that the public don't want to see basic immigration laws enforced. That's it. He's not doing anything radical. He's not doing anything that every administration for the last 100 years hasn't done, including the Saint Obama. For the entirety of my life, the United States and every other civilized Western nation has had rules about who can go there. Because, you don't want to import kiddie fiddlers and drug dealers. Or like Harold Shipman. You don't want him taking 2 weeks in the Florida Keys. Right, because bad things happen occasionally. So it's all kicking off. They're blowing things up and setting things on fire. I reckon it'll make for a nice welcome back tale, won't it? So grab your Kevlar helmets and lace up your combat boots. We're going to see what the National Guard have been up to. It is going to get interesting because I'll tell you something. After doing 4 tours out in Iraq and Afghanistan and seeing some of the US National Guard in action up close and personal, the potential for things to go south here is very real. I don't wish to sound disparaging of the part-time soldiers, but I'm just putting it out there. They're not sending Andy McNabb into action. And judging by some of the lads I saw out in Afghanistan who were in the Oklahoma National Guard, a significant minority of these boys are only going to be able to fit into the combat fatigues if they're made out of spandex. Basically, they need combat yoga pants. Okay, here's a summary from the BBC. National Guard troops have arrived in LA in the early hours of Sunday morning. Donald Trump announced 2,000 soldiers would be deployed following protests over raids on undocumented migrants. Undocumented migrants. So the BBC's joined in there. The BBC's just done away with the word illegal immigrant. Yeah, nobody's illegal. What? Nobody's illegal? Nobody at all? No? Not even Jose Antonio Ibarra, who was convicted of 3 counts of felony murder and counts of malice murder and kidnapping with bodily injury and aggravated assault after brutally and savagely taking the life of an innocent young university student who was out jogging, minding her own business. No, he's not illegal. No, perfectly splendid chap. We should definitely let him jump the queue. Consign all of the legal, reasonable immigrants, who are there, walking through the process, wanting to move over here with their wives and the kids. And then they have to say to the 5-year-old son, "Oh, you dream of going to school in America, Jesus?" "Yes, Pappy." "Well, unlucky, son. Unlucky. You have to go at the back of the queue now because the government's just decided to let random arseholes in." Yep, that's it. Random arseholes. See you later, son. Now shut up and start digging again. Get back in the fields. We need to make room for convicts. Cheers, son. LA County Sheriff's Department says 1 person has been arrested and several detained following the unrest. Governor Gavin Newsom, gruesome Newsom, calls the move from Trump purposefully inflammatory and warns it will only escalate tensions. Yeah, newsflash, new scum, newsflash. Enforcing the law is inflammatory to criminals. Yeah, they don't like it. They're not big fans of it. That's why when they went to arrest O.J. Simpson, he drove down the motorway at 80 miles an hour with 20 coppers following him. Criminals don't like being caught. No, they don't. They're against it. You thick twat. And in a predominantly Latino district of LA, residents repeatedly clashed with immigration and customs enforcement officials on Friday and Saturday. Lifelong wet blanket Bernie Sanders tells CNN that Trump is moving the country into authoritarianism for enforcing the law. And multi-millionaire, Harvard, Yale, Oxbridge scholar, spoiled both of his parents, IBM executive types, he tells the NBC that Trump's decision breaks generations of tradition. What tradition? What tradition? I'm old enough to remember the Obama presidency, thanks. They called him the deporter-in-chief because every year he deported thousands of illegal immigrants because they broke the law. So this is where we're at. A generation of kids have been convinced by lunatic activists who've took over the education system that normal, reasonable, centrist border control is tyranny. And thousands of people who get surprise sexed or killed or robbed or mugged or stabbed or shot or burgled or ran over by drunk drivers And all of these offences, many of them, not all of them, but many of them are committed by illegal immigrants. Well, screw all those people. Screw them. Unlucky Laken Riley's family. Sorry, wrong place, wrong time, because it's authoritarianism to enforce the law. Yes, that's what you think if you need a CAT scan, because you've got the intellectual reasoning of a sausage roll, right? That's what's going on here. Nothing controversial. In fact, should we look up how many people Obama deported? AI overview. The year with the highest number of deportations under the Obama administration was 2013, with a record-breaking 438,421 deportations. This figure includes roughly 315,000 Mexicans. In that year, a record 83% of them were carried out without appearing before a judge. And there you have it. So this is political theatre being carried out by radical activists. Cory Booker said, oh, it's a tradition to just let random arseholes wander across borders. It isn't. It isn't a tradition. And Obama deported 500,000 people, of which the lion's share got nowhere near a courtroom, because you don't need due process for illegal immigrants. And I've got a chip on my shoulder about it, because it cost me thousands of dollars, several medicals, 2 different interviews, a police background check, and because for some reason, some American doctor said she had to check my knackers before the process, a borderline sexual assault, okay? So, because she thought I was a Chinese woman wearing a prosthetic penis, I had to let some old doctor grab me by the scrogs and give him a quick tug. Because of all that, this is what I had to go through for my green card. Money, interviews, police background checks, and getting fingered. All right, that was my immigration experience. So don't tell me any random arsehole should be able to walk across the border, okay? You don't support it, I don't support it, and the general public doesn't support it. The vast majority of the general public, including 51% of Latino men, support enforcing the border. And the British government is bragging about deporting 20,000 people when Obama did 500,000. Those are rookie numbers. I wish we had a government that was as efficient as the Obama administration when it comes to deporting people. I guess he was quite capable after all, eh? But that'll have to do it for the day, ladies and gents. I'm back in business. I'll see you all tomorrow. In fact, I might do a live stream later today. We'll see. If I'm feeling generous, I'll knock one of them out as well. All right, I hope you're all keeping well. See you all soon. Toodle pip. Cheers.